What is up, everyone? It is Bismo here, and I am joined by Dustin. What is it, 2024? Are you kidding me? I mean, geez, we're already flying. It's the 11th of the 2024 as well. Well, first stream, got some announcements here, but first things first, I just want to say thank you for Dustin from Stay on Target for showing up. Their channel is in the description. Stay on Target. They do a live show every Wednesday and make some good music. Go check them out. What's going on?
What's up, man? Thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege to be here as always, man. You're one of our great friends, so I'm happy to be here. Excited.
Well, I wouldn't say it's an honor, but I'll take it. It's fun, but maybe more of a curse. No, okay.
No, no, definitely an honor.
Well, just a general overview of the agenda today. Obviously, on a Tuesday, Star Wars decides to drop probably the biggest news of the past couple of years, which is crazy. So we'll be getting, I guess my takes on it and be discussing it with Dustin as well. Ahsoka season 2. Sure to be some good banter there. We'll see. No, I've got some just announcements for the channel as well. But yeah, what's up? What's up, Ellie, Icy? Stay on Targets in the chat if you guys want to just go check them out. Sonia, anyone else? Also, a new thing for these live streams. I'm going to be testing this out. If you guys see that blue box for the Q&A, putting your questions in the Q&A, because me and Dustin might be chatting and miss some things, but if you want something specific for us to get at the end of the show, we're going to call it the Q&A section, and we'll do that at the end of the show. So put your questions in the Q&A box, which is that blue box there, and we'll make sure to for sure go through that at the end. It could be Star Wars, it could be anything else.
Yeah.
What's up,
Yeah.
Carla Hawkins? And yeah, Dustin, if you see anything in the chat specific to you want to go over,
We'll do.
Know. Yeah. So first things first. Big video releasing tomorrow. I'll maybe be teasing the thumbnail later on in the show. I'm kind of excited for you guys to see it, but I'm just going to say it's the return of the What If series. I've made a couple posts on the community channel or the community page about that. I'm going to be doing more What Ifs this year, more bigger videos. And the shift on my channel is I'll still cover news and make the short videos that you guys, a lot of you guys are subscribed for, but I'm going to be shifting to quality over quantity, that Lucasfilm should be doing. But the goal is 2 larger quality videos per month. So it'll be bi-weekly, and I'm going to be aiming for that Friday. So tomorrow is Friday. We're going to release a big video for you guys, and then 2 weeks from then, there'll be another good video lined up. That's going to be the plan here. I try to make the live streams weekly on Thursdays, but I'm considering kind of shifting to where it might be bi-weekly as well and go in the in-between, so at least there's content every week. I'll make official announcements on the community page for you guys, but the videos are for sure right now 2 quality videos a week. I'm going to be giving it my best, giving it my all. That's pretty much it. I think I've been blabbling long enough here, just some general announcements, but Happy New Year to those. I know I'm a bit late here, but late is better than never, right?
Exactly. Better late than never, I always say. It feels like it's been a year since I've seen you.
Yeah, it actually has, though. It has. When's the last time we did a collab?
It was back in December. We did the 4v1 and we got absolutely wrecked by your skills. It was hilarious.
That was a lot of fun. Yeah, make sure to go check that out. We did a 1v4 in Rocket League snow day, me against the Stay on Target crew. It was close. It was close. It was competitive.
I don't think it was that close. I think we got destroyed.
Wow.
We tried our best, and you were like, all right, I'm going to go backwards now and only use my thumb. No, one thumb.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't.
Okay. All right, you guys go.
You guys
still beating us.
You guys had some impressive plays, though. And I was surprised. I think it was with Matt, with his ability. Also, I know we're on stream here, but I just always kind of assume Matt and Nick were a little bit more busy, but I don't hate them, so they can come on the show if they want to.
I was just telling Nick that. I told Nick that last night. I was like, Nick, you got to go on Bismo's show, man.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Matt was a little under the weather last night, so he wasn't there. But he'll be back. But yeah, we got to get him on. Even if I have to drag him on with me sometime, they are absolutely hilarious, and I think you'd have a blast with them.
Yeah. No, I love everyone on the Stay on Target crew. For sure. I mean, we wouldn't be having like, we're getting close to double-digit collabs at this point.
I know, man. I know. Yeah. I mean, and everybody on the Stay on Target crew loves you too. I mean, wow. Again, we kind of early on got, for us at least on our channel and stuff like that. It was fun to, with like-minded YouTubers to collaborate, and you were the first one, and we're honored, and it's just been fun getting to know you and having fun talking Star Wars, because we always have so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. Might as well get a stream going, get a pod going. Some others in the chat. Empowering survivors and stories with Alex. What's up? I appreciate you saying you miss us. I appreciate that. Well, hey, Dustin's usually, at least on his stream, consistently once a week. I'm a little bit inconsistent here. I'm trying to get better with it, but
you got a lot going on, man. You're an E1 athlete.
Everyone does. Wow. Ellie says, "Hi, Bismo, Dustin at a restaurant with family and friends. Well, enjoy that. I don't want to steal the show from that, right now."
Yeah. I mean, it's okay,
Hello there.
It's worth your time.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Crank it up. Let them know.
Yeah.
Tell them to
just
subscribe.
play it for everybody in the theater. I mean, come on.
Yeah, tell them to subscribe. Omega 095. It's been a long galaxy far, far away. Indeed, it has. Sonia says, "My mom and my stepdad, Ray, and my little siblings and cousin Jordan, we're going to eat dinner in a little bit. Ooh, enjoy that.
Nice. Man, talk of food, I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah, I for Christmas I got a pizza stone because I like making pizza. So I made actually just tried it out for dinner here. I made a pizza marinara, just pretty simple, but it was good. There's no leftovers.
We need a new Bismo segment. It's cooking with Bismo. I think that'd be amazing.
Actually, I don't know why I didn't include that in announcements, but you might potentially be seeing some Cooking with Bismo episodes on the channel.
Seriously?
Actually, Star Wars orientated. Let me just share right now. I've got a cookbook specifically.
I didn't even know this.
Star Wars cookbook. We might be exploring this year on the channel.
Heck yeah.
And some other fun stuff, but this year I just wanted the live streams to just be a bit more wacky. If there's not as much going on, like, just kind of have fun with it, do whatever. I was kind of experimenting with, like, I did that like one VR live stream. It's definitely interesting to say the least, but I want to get creative, whatever we're really feeling, and also what you guys want. So let me know in the comments and stuff.
I just want more Bismo.
Well,
Cooking with Bismo. I didn't even know you were going to do that, so that's awesome.
It was a good segue. It was a good call right there.
Wow, we're like on the same wavelength. We didn't even know it.
Yeah. We gotta get a anime discussion going sometime though, for sure.
Yes, dude. I do. You hit me with that, and I was like, that sounds brilliant. I need to learn a lot more about anime. I really like anime. It's good stuff.
It's definitely good stuff. I mean, I can't say I know, like, to some of my friends, they call me noob, like, but
wow,
like, yeah, some of them, yeah. But I feel like I've got to the point where I've watched, or at least recognized, most of like the super popular ones. I guess currently I'm watching. I haven't watched through JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, so I'm currently watching through that. And Jujutsu Kaisen just kind of finished up. I guess Attack on Titan I'll just finish as well. We don't need to get too deep here, but what anime are you currently watching?
Well, I just finished One Punch Man season 2. It's been out for a while.
I love One Punch Man.
I love one. That's like one of my favorites. It's classic
Hero
humor. I love his
that's the best.
Yeah.
That is honestly one of my most favorite animes, and I'm super pumped for a season 3 that's supposed to be coming at some point.
Okay.
I actually think the studio Mappa, I forget how to announce it, picked up for them for season 3.
Oh, did they? Oh, wow.
And And they they did Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen. Those are some of the big name like anime.
Oh,
So
dude,
really pumped to see what they do there. Yeah,
nice.
baking with Bismo.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Ooh, that sounds really good. Credit to Stay on Target for that.
I like that.
We'll do a little bit. We'll do a little bit of each. Oh my gosh. Um, I'm currently at a table with 9 other kids. Someone please save my introverted soul. Must trust in the Force. I don't know. Do you have any words of wisdom?
Just ask them questions about what they like, and if you find something you both like, then go on that subject for a while. That's what I do. Just ask what their interests are.
Yeah. What do you think we're doing right now?
Yeah, you just find common ground with them, and then you could talk for days as long as you really like that subject, or at least act like you like the subject. Then you can always learn stuff, even if you don't know what it is.
Mhm.
People want to share what they know, what they love. So that's how you can keep a conversation going all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and be receptive too, like give a chance to what they're saying, even if you're maybe not interested right away. At least hear what they have to say. Yeah. So I'm gonna say one more time, for questions you specifically want me to for sure address, put it in the Q&A, and it's gonna be a new segment on the show, just the Q&A section at the end for things we might have missed in the chat. Make sure to put it in the Q&A, and we'll go through it all at the end. But let's get into the discussion now of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which we actually just I got some sources, some new updates even today of what that might be. So obviously on Tuesday it was announced that the Mandalorian and Grogu is going to be a movie, but today I've heard from a couple different people that it's going to be Mandalorian season 4 is going to have 1 through 6 episodes, and then they're just going to make the finale the movie. How do you feel about that?
Wow, that's totally different than what I was thinking. Because I kept hearing both ways. I was like, okay, they're just gonna take season 4 and condense it down into a movie.
Yeah.
That's what I was originally thinking. So they're actually doing season 4 and capping it off.
Yeah, it's the in between option, because I made a video. I'm like, there's not going to be Mando season 4. It's going to be a movie, and then I even flipped on that. They're going to do Mando season 4. It's not going to be a movie, but now it seems like it's going to be both, and it's odd. I personally am not I'm not overly into the move, just because this needs to succeed, and if you're just making it a finale of a couple episodes, how do you market that to a casual audience that just wants to go in and have a story from start to finish? Like, how do you start off a story on episode 7 for somebody that definitely hasn't seen the show, like the people that just see, hey, that's Grogu, like I've got a stuffed animal of him for like my grandson or something like that,
Yeah, right. It's kind of weird because it's like timing would be an important thing. How do you hype up the movie and the show at the same time? And are you timing it so that like you release every episode of that show leading up to the movie, and the movie's going to be in theaters versus on the streaming platform? Is there a time gap between? Yeah. So
it better be in theaters, is all I'm saying. You can't just make this and put it on Disney Plus. Like, I want to see Star Wars on the big screen. I want to see good Star Wars, or at least relatively good Star Wars on the big screen.
Yeah, better than what we got anyway.
I think I mean, the Mandalorian and Grogu, I got to be careful. I don't want to jinx it here, but like on the big screen, what could you really do to make it like a complete flop? Like what? Like what would be something that would like completely like screw the pooch?
Probably if they killed him off in like the first 5 to 10 minutes. If they killed off either Mando or Grogu in the first like 5-10 minutes, you're probably gonna have a flop on your hands, unless they can explain it super well and it's epic and it makes sense.
Maybe that's part of their strategy.
Maybe
maybe they do that to like get it divisive. So people like, what? No way. No, there's no way.
That would be
needs to be decent. Like, imagine now I think of it like this, I guess. If I think of it from a season standpoint, if I saw Mandalorian season 2, like episodes 6 through 8, chop it up, make it in a movie, that would be insane in a movie theater. Like, oh, Boba comes on the screen. Oh my, oh, they take Grogu. We gotta go meet up with him, and then Luke saves the day. Okay, like that like has kind of a start finish that would adhere to like casuals, but also the hardcores. Then I think of like season 3 of Mandalorian. If it was just the two episodes, like last 2 episodes, 7 and 8 were just the fight on Mandalore or something like that. Like, where's the context for the viewer?
Yeah, because that's the thing. It'd have to be self-contained. They'd have to rework it a lot to like really get everybody up to speed on what's happening. So it'd have to be a self-contained movie from beginning to end, and you'd have to basically reintroduce these characters to people who have never seen it in an interesting way, but still harken back to the people who know what's going on. But they would have to tweak so much of that movie. I mean, they'd have to introduce, Moff Gideon in a way that he's the villain. And they'd have to hype up so much, but it might have made it a better ending because at least the movie is like a higher budget. That's the other thing, though. What kind of budgets are we looking at for like this movie versus and the shows?
Yeah, I don't even know what Mando's budget is. It like 100 million or like 200 million?
I think but then they split it up over 8 episodes.
15 million per ep. 15
per episode. Okay.
8. So yeah, 120. That's pretty expensive for a TV show, but if someone said 120 million, I don't know. In today's money, inflation and all, I don't know what to say, but I feel like 200 million would be probably a number for a movie. But
yeah,
I don't know.
Not including like promotional material and stuff like that for getting it into theaters and everything. But
yeah, I honestly, I think this is a bad move. Like
the movie, or you mean the season?
The season. Like I think the movie is a great move, but this report of it being first 6 episodes in the movie is a horrible move. Just make Mando season 4 or whatever it was the movie. We get episodes of The Mandalorian that are not even 30 minutes sometimes with like out credits. Like it will be 25 minutes and then roll credits, and that's how they click to say it was 30 minutes.
Right.
Think of it like this: like let's say a 2.5 hour movie. That's like 5 of those episodes anyway. That sounds good to me. Chop out the filler and just give me the meat in a movie theater.
Make it more succinct, make it more like up the pace a little bit, keep everybody excited, like you said, cut the filler, give us the meat, but or just make it a few movies, like you're saying. If you still want to do that ending movie, just do 2 movies, cover the first half of the season in a movie, like you're saying, and then do the finale as a movie. I think the best example I can think of where this was actually semi-successful, did you ever see Firefly, the show Firefly? Joss
think so.
Joss Whedon did it a while ago. It's a good show. If you get a chance, I'd definitely check it out. It's kind of like it's funny because it kind of harkens back to Star Wars in some ways. It's kind of like a Western. It's more Western, but in space. And they only got 1 season, and then it was canceled abruptly, even though it was very popular. People were very upset. So upset that they actually ended up going back and making a movie. So they ended up just wrapping everything up that they planned for some other seasons to be a movie. And the movie was actually really good. And I really enjoyed the season, and I really enjoyed the movie. So if they're going to follow a pattern or anything like that, I think that would be a good example to look at. And the funny thing is, Firefly is a lot like Rebels. I think Dave Filoni got a lot of his ideas for Rebels in Firefly. If you watch it, you could definitely see the similarities.
Okay. I think I've heard, I guess important figures in the film industry mention that at least, or maybe that's been mentioned before. But yeah, I guess I'm not familiar. I'll have to
check it out. I think you'd really enjoy it. It's not exactly for kids too. It's a little bit more adult, but
okay.
Yeah, so just so you're aware. Anyone who's wants to show their kids, be careful.
Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, Icy says he's not really sure what to say about that. The general audience really won't know watching the episodes, like going into it, what's going on. I'm excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu, says Sonya. I'm excited for it on the big screen. Like, don't get me wrong, even if they do this, I'm seeing the movie. From a just me standpoint, not to say I don't, or there's a certain side of me that wouldn't really care because as a hardcore viewer, I'm gonna watch every single episode and then watch the movie anyway. But I
Right.
just know that that's a horrible business move. So like, it's just not a good move. I just don't see it.
It could really work out if the show is amazing. If
Yeah.
every episode of the show it just like gets better and better and better, and that could get people to like a fever pitch when it comes to the movie. Like so excited that everybody's talking about it and telling all their friends like, dude, you got to watch. You got to watch. The problem though, like you're saying though, is it might shoot themselves in the foot because if a lot of people aren't watching the show because they don't have Disney Plus or whatever the way they're doing it, and they don't make that movie, like if you have to watch the season to understand the movie, then you're
Mhm.
shooting yourself in the foot. But
Yeah.
if
I,
they hype it up with that show and it's amazing and you like just like you can't wait for that finale and it
yeah.
delivers, I mean, you could be looking at a lot and you could get a lot of Disney sub from that if people are
Yeah.
excited,
Yeah. Actually,
and do it well.
I guess you're starting to win me a little bit as far as like at least seeing how it could be good. What's poppin', Kiri Allen? Oh, by the way, I haven't asked. I gotta ask you at least once. Make sure to drop a like on the stream.
Yeah,
But
like it.
yeah,
Do
no.
it
I guess
now.
if there's if there's 6 episodes and it's a good like it's good quality, that's 6 weeks of like not to say free promotion, but basically promotion kind of for the movie. And then what if they instead of a week they did like a 2 week gap after the 6th episode or something like that, and then dropped like promotion trailers, like they
Yeah,
leave it on a cliffhanger for that 2 weeks and just create some
yeah.
huge build. I think there's ways they could make it work. I think that it being so atypical kind of makes me a bit like concerned.
Yeah, I know. It could definitely go south really quick.
Because if the season's
And
horrible,
oh man. Wouldn't that be so weird too if like the season is like absolutely terrible and then you go and watch the movie and you're like, this movie was amazing. Why do they even have this season? Like
that
it's
is a
just
real
follow the movie.
possibility. Like I would say
Yeah.
that's like a pretty good chance of happening if they do this.
But and the thing is who's directing the show, because we know Favreau's directing the movie. But how
Yeah.
much creative control does he have at this point? That's the other thing that makes me nervous in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, they
And
usually have multiple directors for each episode, which is something I've never really liked. Some shows it works
yeah,
if they're really good shows, but like I just not a huge fan. Even with the Ahsoka show, I didn't like that. Even Dave Filoni wrote everything, but he didn't direct everything. And some of my least favorite episodes he didn't direct. Some of the episodes of his were could use some improvement, but still like when you're doing a movie like this, there's got to be continuity if they're also having episodes.
yeah, I agree. And it's a little jarring whenever you go from one director to another that's got a totally different taste, a totally different style. Plus, it doesn't help the one director get into a rhythm. You know what I mean? Because like you do the first one, you're kind of working out the kinks. Second one, all right, you're getting better and better and better and better, and then you're just learning as you're going, and you're getting better directing as you're going, and then everybody gets into a rhythm. That's kind of the nice thing, with episodes and working together with the crew and everything like that. And then I think that's why I feel like it's almost backwards to be splitting it up unless you just don't have time and you got to have all these other people to do it. But I don't know. I agree with you. I think it should be one director doing it all.
Maybe they'll just kind of treat this as if they're making, Mandalorian season 8, but then they just in the post production, how they edit together a movie, but they still produce it how they produced the first 3 seasons.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, uh,
I hope it's more Favreau directing all this, and then, or at least in more creative control of everything, and then Filoni's guiding within the universe of Star Wars and like aligning things. I think that's like Filoni to me, from what I've seen so far. I feel like he plays a good George Lucas role in the fact of guiding the story, but letting other directors come in with their creative takes and going with what they're already envisioning, but just kind of steering the ship a little bit, making more small corrections to make sure everything's lining up, but letting the creatives make their own story. So if
yeah,
there's too much studio interference with Favreau, that's what's got me nervous. But if you let him, I mean, he's he's got a winning track record, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. So. I definitely agree with that, and it's a concern. I mean, Boba Fett, of course, is probably the first example we go to of like, but also Boba Fett has like one of my favorite of all time moments in Star Wars too. Yes. So it's like it's such a mixed bag.
Yeah, because it's Mando season 2.5.
Yeah, what should have been just Mando.
It should have been, dude. I mean,
I just still don't understand. Yeah. How can you not make a good Boba Fett show though? Like, I think anyone could have.
Doesn't it blow your mind? With some of these shows, I'm just like, you could have given it to a child and they would have made it better. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I'm sorry, but we don't need to go off too much. But
yeah, same with Kenobi, and I think there actually are more people out there that like Kenobi than I thought. For as much as I rip it, but then it's hard for me to like. It's just, it's my favorite character. I have so much much time spending on reading as much as I can about them, getting the extra bit of info, and for them to just kind of slap $80 million or whatever on it, and shaky cameras and poor editing, it's not even focused on them. It breaks. Okay.
It's such a. It's just
every
such
time.
A waste.
Every time. Yeah, every time. Bring Kenobi up. What happened?
It drives me crazy every time. That's the thing. It's just, come on.
And don't even get me started on.
Oh no.
No. Okay. Well, we won't start.
Here we go. No. It's gonna get hot. It's gonna get spicy.
We should have split Bismo. We should have split that money up. Kenobi gets 300 million. Andor gets 1 million per episode. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't even think if you threw more money at Obi, it would be better.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing.
Yeah, I don't think the money was the problem. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, I think it didn't. I don't think it helped. Obviously, if you have more money for a project, typically it should be better. But I don't know.
Yeah, like the lightsabers threw me off. It's like fan filming.
Dude, I have seen fan films that are better than Obi-Wan Kenobi by far.
Yeah.
That's the
honestly, I would say your guys' story and your guys' fan film was probably better than Kenobi.
At least it was cohesive, and we didn't totally wreck canon and it's just so much of that was just we should not go on Obi-Wan. We will be talking about it all night. We already are.
Yeah,
but
Icy seems to doesn't believe the rumor, but if it is true, it says it's dumb. I mean, it's definitely a rumor, but it's not like I'm just making this up on the spot. Making Star Wars reported that today, and the Den of Nerds as well reported that as well.
Yeah, they got pretty good track records for that stuff.
Yeah, I mean
and that's kind of the question that keeps coming up.
Yeah. I mean, he called the movie to begin with though too, so I'm not gonna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think he was the first person to call the movie the Den of Nerds, but
Den of Nerds.
Yeah,
he's got some good inside sources for sure, which is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then obviously, wait, what is the movie gonna be about though? One thing I didn't see though is Katie Sackhoff never put on her story, on her Instagram story, the movie announcement. Bo-Katan not in this movie? What's going on here? Is it just the Mandalorian and Grogu on an adventure?
That's a great question, man. And is it gonna lead into Heir to the Empire? Is this just a setup? Is it the end of Mando? Yeah. There's so many questions, and we have no idea because they left off season 3 with we could go anywhere, I guess. So it's kind of wide open at this point.
Yeah, and then season 3 so heavily for 2 minutes tied into Ahsoka, and then wasn't really, or at least kind of teased it. And now it seems
I think I like that better than I like the Ahsoka series.
Mando season 3?
No. The one scene we got.
Okay. I was like, what? No.
Well,
no.
I mean, actually,
I would say, oh God, no.
Here we go. I just like seeing Zeb, man. Zeb looked amazing, dude.
Yeah, how is
That blew me
Zeb?
away.
Okay, that is criminal. No Zeb in Ahsoka. That is criminal.
That's what I'm saying. It is absolutely good. If you had Zeb in Ahsoka, it would have gone up.
Was it a budget thing? Like,
yeah, probably.
Like, what's that's stupid in my opinion. Like,
it is dumb. Yeah,
I don't know. Just have the. I wouldn't even have cared. Like, the CGI looks so good, so freaking amazing. I wouldn't have cared if it looked bad and he was still in it. I want the story. I'm not someone that like is super like hardcore on the like the CG. I want a good story. If something looks really bad, I'll probably say something. But for example, like I think I remember Nick saying he wasn't a huge fan of like Anakin, or like the CG was a little bit iffy.
At the very when they first showed him, but then it won him over in the next in the next episode.
Yeah, it's I don't know, things like that. Not super important to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ahsoka season 2 though, and if they're gonna do this movie like you're saying, and why not just make Ahsoka season 2 or whatever that story is into a movie? Like, start off with the Mandalorian and Grogu, leave it on like a cliffhanger that has the bigger story that connects more with Ahsoka, and then have that like Thrawn and Ezra conflict in like an episode 2. Leave that off with like a bigger conflict or whatever, tying into like that Balin Skull potential Abeloth, or like the Grisk or something for a culmination in like a trilogy, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like, this has got to relate. This cannot just be a one-off if there's some other movie going.
Right, because it seems like the slate of movies was, from what I understand, I thought it was going to be like the Mando and Grogu, and then I think it was going to be, wasn't it the Rey movie next? And then it was
original,
and then it's the Heir to the Empire, and then the Dawn of the Jedi. I think was
like,
the
is
line
that the current
that I
one?
saw. I think that's like the. I think that's like by year they're coming out with like each movie.
Okay.
Like,
like the updated one now though, because like when they at Celebrations, like when they first announced it, Celebrations was supposed to be the Rey movie first, and then
it was,
and then the Mandoverse Heir to the Empire movie, and then the James Mangold first Dawn of the Jedi.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one, from what I can tell, because they're going into production on this.
Yeah,
this
no, I
year.
think it's next now.
I think it's pushing the Rey movie. I don't even know if they're doing the Rey movie.
Yeah,
at this point.
I actually am in the mindset from those comments. I think they quietly fired that person. To be honest, that was making that.
I think they just can't help. I mean, at this point, you know, with everything that's happened with KK, with that director, with going the Rey route again, which was already diminishing returns. I think finally, I feel like Disney finally stepped in and was like, "All right, we need to correct this ship. We are getting so much PR. We're already losing money. We already lost this year to Universal, 2023. We cannot keep going down this path." That's why I think they rushed this announcement on a Tuesday with like some AI generated art of Mando and Grogu, and got everybody like off of the Charmin Aubin-Janoy comments, and was like, it's just the smartest move Disney's done. Like, seriously, the smartest move they've done in a while.
This I would agree. This has been, that was like, I mean, even like, for example, I think my I think it was over winter break, my brother even commented like, and he's like very casual these days at Star Wars. He's like, "Did you see what this director said?" They're like, I think even my mom said something, and I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I think that person was quietly fired, and I think it's kind of, not to say a common trend, but like it's a common trend that a lot of stuff doesn't get done. Like, there's a lot of talk but no do. Like, there's just a long list of things. Like, for example, though, like a semi-similar but different, because it wasn't a PR thing, but the David B. and
Benioff and Weiss.
Yeah, those guys. So they were supposed to have, I think, at least a movie or even a trilogy potentially of Star Wars, since they were hired. They're like, "Oh, Game of Thrones popular," and then Game of Thrones had a really bad last season because it seemed they didn't put that much effort into it, and all of a sudden, I haven't heard anything about that movie. I don't think that's definitely not coming out.
Actually, they just dropped some news on that today. Benioff and Weiss, I think, just came out online and they were talking about a little bit behind the scenes of what happened. Apparently, their movie they were pitching was actually of the first Jedi,
Like the Dawn of the Jedi?
which is the Dawn of the Jedi movie. And they said, when they came out with their statement, they were like, all right, we just can't do both Netflix and Star Wars. We love Star Wars and we want to do Star Wars content, but we're just going to have to focus on that. But what they actually said recently, I think it was just today, was that Disney Star Wars didn't want to do it. They didn't want to run with their idea. And I think what you're saying was, I think, because KK was like, she drops people if they're not like if they have a miss, because like that, it's happened with so many directors. It's like if they have one miss, then she's like done, dropping them.
Taika?
Even if they've done, yeah.
Where is that movie?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened with a ton of people, of producers, directors, and so so they're basically confirming it right there that they. I think what happens is she saw the last episode. And she's like, "Oh, they actually suck. Then we're just gonna totally divert from them because they're getting bad PR, and we're just not gonna do that movie, which is dumb, really." And now they're doing the movie, so
yeah, that's just wild. Even like over a year ago, they were actually writing a script for this Rey movie. Like somebody, I forget who it was.
Stephen Knight,
maybe.
Stephen Knight, I know, put in
okay
scripts
for it, and they didn't like it, so he's the
gone.
And now we don't even know if this movie's even coming out at all. Which again, not to say I don't really care. I would probably see the movie if it didn't look complete, trash. Like I want to see Star Wars on the big screen, but it is definitely the better move to put a little bit of a familiar face and a face that is probably the most universally loved, especially with what Disney has created in Din Djarin and the Mandalorian and Grogu.
And maybe course correct for season 3. I mean, they saw the numbers dip for season 3. It was still Mando was still the most watched in last year, but I think it was just from
sad.
I know. I think it was just from previous the first 2 seasons, 2.5 seasons were so great that just that goodwill was carried over into season 3, and I think they're kind of trying to correct the ship in some ways with this movie, but also I think they're trying to get Pedro back with a movie.
I
think he wants that movie.
I think I don't know.
I don't so much.
I don't want
so many layers.
I was gonna say some stuff, but I'm gonna retract a little bit. No, hopefully they get Pedro back. But Ahsoka. So, obviously, I was pretty big. I mean, I was a huge fan of Ahsoka. Like personally, definitely had flaws. I thought the viewership was gonna knock it out of the park. It didn't knock it out of the park, but it wasn't that bad. Looking at the numbers, it actually was pretty good compared to some other shows.
Wasn't it? I think it was like 7th or 8th that most watched for like new content of 2023. I think was what it was.
Yeah, there were some charts that it like did pretty well on. I forget what I remember like in a tweet or somewhere where it was like top, but the problem was though, like there was a clear fall off in numbers after the main like episode 5 with Anakin. Like there was a dip in numbers because there was a dip in quality in those last couple episodes, which I can't deny. But it seems it did good enough, and I will say it with that episode 5 around when like the midpoint of that season when it was good, there was a ton of traction online. There was a ton being said, and that's good. That's good for the brand. That's always good for the brand. I haven't seen that specific like for that one day of how much it was trending. I haven't seen that since Mando season 2. Now, did the overall viewership retain that? No, but it seems it's done good enough to earn itself a season 2, I guess, or Dave Filoni another chance because they're working on that now. But I guess
it might just be because Dave Filoni is the head of the executive creative now. He's like, no, we're definitely doing season 2.
I mean, it still had better. It still had better numbers than Andor. I mean.
Oh wow! Here we go.
It did. It did.
I don't know. We're gonna have to
What?
fact check that because I saw
Oh
some
my.
places that it didn't do as well as Andor.
Okay, we're taking a deviation. Entertain the people while I start looking.
Yeah, so I don't know. For me with Ahsoka, I think like the story, like you're saying, it at least set up some interesting story. I think it would have played a lot better actually animated or a movie, because of what we got in that season, which just didn't feel like enough for how many episodes were in it. There was just so much in between, and nothing really. It felt like you were just pushing everything down the road in a lot of ways. So I just wanted the meat for a lot of it. I do agree that episode 5 was amazing, and I just wanted to stay in live action Clone Wars. That's what I wanted more than anything. I was like, this is the best thing that we've gotten in a while, is live action Clone Wars, and I want to stay in this world. I just want to let's just do Clone Wars live action with all these characters and people. I would be so happy about that. That would be absolutely amazing. But anyway, sorry, I was entertaining. What'd you find out?
Yeah, so I found a very reliable source, an image on Reddit. Very reliable.
Wait a second. Is the image you put?
No, I didn't put it. I'm eating my words a little bit here. No, looking at this. So I can. I don't know if
depends on the source. I know some sources.
It's Nielsen. It's the Nielsen numbers. So those.
Oh, the Nielsen.
Yeah. So
yeah, those are.
For reference, Mando season 3, it started at 823 million for the first episode and finished at 1,000, so like a billion minutes.
Okay.
And its peak was episode 3, which I'm trying to think. What was episode 3?
Episode 3, I think there's that dog fight, right? Episode 3 was the.
No.
Was that the terrible episode?
It's probably just because it was such a long episode, and then after that, people stopped watching because the next one was only 795.
I think it's because that episode was so bad.
Yeah,
people
the
were
thing
like,
is with these numbers though, it's kind of tough because how they work, I think, is like during that like week they look at the total minutes watched, and it's like some shows have different amount of episodes, some But anyhow, for reference though, Andor's first 3 episodes. It says 624 million. It says Ahsoka's first double episode was 829 million. And then Andor averaged around 400 million. But it did end at 674 million with that finale in that last week. Whereas Ahsoka started off strong, but then only averaged at about 575. So it looks like Andor finished stronger. Ahsoka had a more consistent
higher view rate.
Yeah, more consistent, but I would say we'll call it a draw. Looking at this, but you probably want to be on the up and up. I will say that though.
You don't want diminishing returns. Yeah. You want people to be hyped.
It didn't look like actually there was that much drop off for Ahsoka. It just looked like the first week there was a ton of hype, and then maybe that put off some people, or just how they measure stuff.
It's still a weird rating system. It's still kind of confusing out there. Trying to figure out how they actually get like the actual ratings is kind of challenging, because that's like, is it per user? Is it per household?
Yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah, because sometimes I'm watching with multiple people, and like, what's a view versus somebody? Like, what if something got a ton of views but they didn't watch it all? Like that kind of stuff. Like, there's a lot of different. Yeah, I mean, they claimed that it drew 14. Remember when they made that announcement? 14 million viewers or something like that. That's definitely a massive amount of views, but obviously it didn't translate to a huge amount.
But then, how were they even calculating? That was Disney that came out and said that.
Yeah.
So how are they calculating that versus what the actual Nielsen was saying? So that's where a lot of the confusing stuff. It was funny too, because like they came. It was it wasn't the Nielsen. It was another rating system came out pretty early on, was saying this is how much Ahsoka got, and then Disney responded immediately. It was like, no, we had 14 million or whatever.
Yeah, that was funny. I remember that. That was super funny. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
The Stay on Target fact checker says, "Did I hear fact checking is required?" What's up, fact checker?
What's up, fact checker? Yeah.
Don't worry, I got a reliable source, an image on Reddit.
No. Yes. No, we'll call it. I think at least they're. I mean, really, and not a ton of people watch Andor. I felt like it deserved more eyes on it. Andor specifically,
Uh-huh.
but it's. I mean, I feel like even still, Ahsoka should have done better. The odd thing about Ahsoka too for me was they hyped up that middle like episode so much and put it in theaters that like I
Yeah, I
feel like
wish I
that's
could have
when
seen
like
that.
the drop off went because it was like, well, you hyped up the middle of your season, you
Yeah,
didn't even hype up
it's
the
like you
ending.
know that this is the best part. That's something that's not good. You shouldn't know that the middle part is the best. And I will agree, like 7 and 8, if those were as good as like episode 5, we really could be
Oh yeah,
like hitting out of the park. We'd be in a really good spot right now, but now we're on kind of shaky water a little bit. Like, and
yeah,
I did enjoy like all the episodes, but I enjoyed the last two less.
yeah.
Whereas they could have been better. They didn't tell much about this new galaxy. That was one of the things that I said. Like I asked, like when I said, if, for this to be successful, if we're going to a new galaxy, I want to establish the setting. Well, we went to a planet and then we left. So are we
Yeah.
going to do that? Are we going to establish it in future? Because I still will stand by. They set up a lot more than any other show I've seen has actually set up story. Like for example, Mando season 3. What was their setup? Their setup was the fact that Grogu and Din are back together. That was their setup. Like they're alone. Like
Yeah.
so they're reset to square one. There's no like lingering questions at all. There's no Moff Gideon. There's no clones. There's nothing. It has nothing
Is
to
there
even
not a
rely
Moff
on.
Gideon?
Probably a Moff Gideon. Probably a couple of clones.
I
Of
mean,
Moff
he's like the one who just keeps popping up, you
Gideon.
know, like somehow Moff Gideon returned. I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Oh,
They did him so wrong though in that.
It was
They could have made
horrible.
him so good at that, but they just that's the biggest problem is missed opportunities come for Mando season 3 and Ahsoka. I'm just tired of the missed opportunities. Like you're saying with the end of Ahsoka, like the ideas were there, but it was like just push those ideas to like the max. Like throw in a reference for the Grisk or something or show them like for a sec even off in the distance or like we got to get out of here, there's another force coming or you know just like
Yeah.
hinting at things or at least introduce some new species, you know, make it
Yeah.
give
I
us
mean, we got
an
the
entire
hermit people.
galaxy.
We got the hermit people.
Yeah, we did, which I like them. They're like
Yeah,
little
that was like the only
little
good part of that episode.
they were like Ninja Turtle what hobbits. Ninja Turtle
Yeah.
hobbits like equated them to.
Uh, Dontrell Mayfield says in Ahsoka series, episode 4 through 7 was great, but they had some red flags. Yeah, I think every episode probably had some great moments, but a lot of them had red flags. I still will stand by though. I'll throw up the fist for episodes 4, 5, and 6 of all the shows we have. I think that's the best. 1, 2, 3. I think the only other one that, well, I'll say in my mind, ones that come up that can compare are the Mando season 2, 6, 7, 8, and then the Andor prison 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, Narkina 5.
Like
dude,
those are good. Those are good.
Those
Wait,
are fun,
what did I say? I
You
hate
just said
Andor. I hate
you
Andor.
love Andor. You've turned them against me.
How could you? I've been practicing my my Anakin Skywalker voice for the because I try to throw in a couple like I don't know like bad voice acting things in the what ifs episodes, which you know what,
Yes.
I'm gonna just tease the thumbnail for tomorrow's
Yes.
what if video. It should come out at noon CST, right at lunchtime, so noon Central Time. Here is the image for tomorrow. I want to
Yep.
hear you guys' guesses on what do you think this is gonna be about. I'm curious. All right, here it is. Is it? Let me know in the chat. What do you think is this gonna be about?
It's definitely going to be about Andor.
Oh yeah, he knew it. He knew it.
Oh, dude, that's interesting. I like it. I'll let them respond. I don't want to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, noon tomorrow, 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. It should come out. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Chat, you guys got it. It is what if Yoda killed Dooku? Essentially, that's what it's gonna be.
Dude,
Kind of what goes on.
that opens up a lot. That opens up a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah. Well,
Dooku.
yeah.
Dude, I'm pumped for that. I cannot wait to watch that tomorrow. I'm excited.
Yeah, hopefully delivers. Hopefully it's all right. You know, I can't really compete with the Pen Patrol Star Wars out there. Shout out to Pen Patrol Star Wars.
He's killing it.
Making a half-hour what if video every day. But I'm gonna try my darndest. And I do think I can tell some good stories that you guys will enjoy. So still got to make some finishing touches and a couple problems with the video that I'm working through, but it should come out tomorrow at noon at Central Time. So yeah,
heck yeah! Everybody go and watch it. It will be amazing. I know it will.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Well,
you know what?
Wait, what?
I was just gonna say you should do a what if Star Wars was great again.
Make Star Wars
what
great
if
again?
episode 7, like what if everything that Disney Star Wars came out with was amazing and we all loved it cohesively together? Like it just grew the fandom.
I think I would get too sad making that. Yeah. Everything about like
right. It'd almost be a depressing video.
Yeah, I'd be like Maul, you know, in his later years, like thinking about how he lost his lost to Kenobi. He's no longer Palpatine's apprentice. Just what it could have been.
Yes,
it's just sour.
It's just an interesting thought. Real quick, sorry, I did see in the chat here, which I thought was an interesting point. It was I Will One says lots to unpack on Peridia, which kind of harkens to season 2, I think, of Ahsoka, and even that image that Dave Filoni teased. I just want to get your thoughts on that. Yeah, pull my finger. No, but I mean, at least with all of my complaints and our complaints about not getting much in the new galaxy, like this is where Dave Filoni could, like season 2 is where he could go crazy on it, and he could totally blow us away. So I might eat my words for Ahsoka season 1 because of Ahsoka season 2 like goes off the rails and they like get back to what makes Ahsoka great, and they explore like a totally new galaxy, and they're introducing all these awesome plot points and things that we could trail off on in media for years, you know, books, all the good stuff.
I'm really hoping you eat your words, Dustin.
Right.
I'm counting on it. No, it's like I want to.
To be fair, I want to eat my words because I want good Star Wars. I don't like being negative about Star Wars. I actually really want to praise everything Star Wars.
No, I think we're there. But I will say this, Ahsoka. I don't know if I've seen you at this dark side. I don't
know, man.
It's just like the one after another, you know, from the like Kenobi, Boba, Andor. Yeah. I mean, there's just so many.
Wait, well, okay, calm down with Andor there. I heard you. You slipped it in there at the end, but I heard you. No, but I agree. It's like it just kind of kept beating me down. And I think Ahsoka for me, because I was so looking forward to it. Like Obi-Wan. Like Obi-Wan like broke me. Boba Fett was like, okay, at least we got some Mando in there. I really did not like what they did, but I was like, maybe they can course correct. And then Obi-Wan happened, and I just like, it broke me because I was like, I love Obi-Wan. But then, but getting to Ahsoka, it was like, it felt like our last hope in some ways. I was like, Dave Filoni, man. And that's why it hurt so much, because I wanted it to be the best thing to come out that was going to correct the ship and make us so excited again. Plus Rebels characters. I just felt like it did the Rebels characters wrong. Like they're so much better than what we got. That's the thing that drove me crazy.
Zeb.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm going on a rant here. But
KG says they cheated us with Kenobi. Well, KG, we already had like a two maybe like 5-minute rant on that. So I'm going to pause myself before I...
It's yours. You do it. You do you, bro.
Yeah. No, I think generally I've tried to really be positive. But at the same time, I've tried to be realistic too. So, and you know, the further I get away from Ahsoka, I still am pretty like 4 through 6 was really good, but I recognize that there were definitely some flaws. But looking back on it, I think even when I first watched Boba Fett, my consensus when I watched it was like, a couple episodes of this was bad, but it was really good overall. And I even like told myself I like the finale. And looking back, and I'm like, the finale is just I can't allow myself to just be okay with mediocre. Like
exactly.
how I would describe like mediocre Mandalorian season 3. I mean, most of it, but the finale mediocre. Book of Boba Fett finale mediocre. Like it. Okay, it's like a small little battle to close it up, and there's like no twists or turns, nothing. Like, what was the point?
Those like almost proved to us that they should have been movies instead of TV shows. I think a lot of what constricted them on those endings, in a lot of ways, was the fact that it was a TV show. It still could have been done right, but can you imagine what like a finale would look like with a movie, with the budget of a movie? You know, more honed in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But again, you'd have to know what's going on. So like Mandalorian season 3, with a budget of a movie, that battle on Mandalore, that could have been super epic on a movie.
Yeah.
But how would a casual viewer know what was going on?
They would have had to totally introduce. They would have had to take in, I think, the whole series episode, like not just the ending, but like the entire series, put it into a movie.
Yeah, the most recent Dragon Ball movie, I think it was Dragon Ball Superhero. They kind of did that in the first like 2 minutes. They just had like a montage of like Goku was a kid and he came from planet Vegeta, landed on Earth. He defeated the Red Ribbon Army and he grew up and got super strong.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the beautiful thing about Star Wars is opening crawls. You could literally set the stage for the entire movie with an opening crawl and get people caught up in like 3 paragraphs. That's all you got to do, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I was I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but I was packaging my deer, and then in the background there was just on TV there was the Solo movie, like Star Wars Solo movie, and like I was just like kind of casually watching it. I don't think they really had a crawl with that one, right? That was like they didn't really have one.
Was that the first one they didn't, or was it Rogue One?
I think so.
I can't remember now.
Well, I don't think they had a crawl with Solo. I thought they had. Well, I don't know.
I don't think they really did with either the anthology or those. I don't think they did with Rogue One or Solo.
Yeah, but anyhow, I was no crawl for Solo. Anyhow, I watched like most of it just because it's just on, and I was liking it. I was really enjoying watching it. I know we did like a rating of all the things, and like we said it was pretty good, but like fun. I kind of like it even more. Like I don't know what I said, what my rating was for it. But I would put it at like a high B. Like after like I may have had it like C or low B, but like I think I would put it at a high B. And it kind of saddens me out. And that's another thing. Like I wanted to see that story kind of continued. Like I had a lot of like when he meets Chewie and they're in that like he's chained up and like fighting. I was kind of laughing. Awesome. That was funny. Yeah. Like I liked that. That was good. But I think we had a show, or at least we talked about some of a potential Lando show that they gave to Donald Glover and his brother. We haven't heard any updates on it, but supposedly that's being written. I think there's any chance we get some more of that story because I haven't heard anything. I don't think it's a focus.
I know that's kind of. I just don't. Maybe they haven't had time to like really flesh out the like writing it, because they're both busy. But it is odd that they haven't mentioned that because I mean they mentioned Ahsoka season 2 and they mentioned all the movies, but I don't know. Yeah, probably not high up on their priority list right now. I think there's so much going on behind the scenes at Lucasfilm Disney right now that I don't even think they know what they're doing. They're just like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks at this point. Like what? But I want to see it because I agree. I think like the nice thing about Solo was it was fun. Like it has a lot of problems, like a ton of problems. But it's like a fun, heisty kind of adventure movie. Yeah. That has funny moments, got lots of action, and it at least has a good pace. So
yeah. Don't get me wrong. Even with me saying that, like, there's definitely some problems. Like I think we talked about this, but I almost have to just skip the first 10 minutes. I will I almost turned off the movie or left the movie theater when that like creature, like I know we're supposed to have creatures in Star Wars, but it was like talking in a human voice or something. It's just,
dude,
it was really bad, really, really bad. Like it dropped my rating probably by a full point on its own. Like
yes,
it was bad.
They should have subtitled that.
Yeah,
they should have subtitled and done alien voiceover.
Yeah, Ellie
Like,
is saying preach Icy. What did Icy say? Solo was just like an opening text. Wait, I feel like Star Wars has a big problem when they set up something it just never goes anywhere. Yeah, definitely. With a lot of different things.
yeah,
And yeah, I think this announcement, like you're saying, is them just them really swinging for the fences. I mean, they're saying, all right, the Mandalorian and Grogu, that's a movie coming out, and and Ahsoka season 2 is developing. They're not even mentioning any of like the small fry. Like they're like concerned to the point of like, we gotta
yeah.
use our big guns. Like things are bad.
Like literally I feel like the only thing that's had given them actual like monetary success when it comes to Disney Star Wars is The Mandalorian. And that's why I feel like it's a lot of Disney execs and people looking at like, well, what's successful? Let's go with that. We need to be successful in Star Wars again. We can't be pushing stuff. We can't be doing other things. We need to be successful. So announce this because it's perfect, because it'll pull all the hate that we're getting from PR, the bad PR from the Ray director, and it's getting people away from that and excited for something again in Star Wars. So and that's what they need. And it was. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what were you gonna?
I was just gonna say it was kind of interesting though that they, and even in the announcement for the movie, it was like at the very end they were like, and Dave Filoni's working on Ahsoka season 2. I
Yeah.
was like, why did you just like slip that in? Like,
Yeah.
when you announced that more, like I don't know, it
Yeah.
felt a little funny to me, but
Yeah. At least they made a separate announcement. But yeah, like I made a
he
video
did.
on that, and I'm like,
Yeah,
so like I'm super excited for Ahsoka season 2 for the fact that it's set up so much. Like, if it can be good, they have the story. I think gonna give Dave Filoni the benefit of the doubt. The mistakes of like coming from animation to live action. All right, but that just means this next project that he does, like that involving Ahsoka, like I'm gonna be definitely a lot more critical. But
yeah,
it should have the potential to be one of the best, if not the like best things Disney has produced. Like that kind of story, Balin looking off in the distance in this new galaxy at some unknown foe.
Yeah,
Ezra and Thrawn going at it in the main galaxy in the background. I mean, come on, and really it should be on a movie screen. Like just this,
yeah.
some of this stuff is just too epic to be wasted on a show.
I think that's what they're realizing, and that's why they're announcing like movies again, because this was a good experiment, but I don't think it's not a good experiment. It's been kind of a bad experiment, but it was an experiment nonetheless. And I think they're realizing, and they need to course correct. Like, look, we need to get back what made Star Wars great again. Which was the movies. People like seeing them in theaters, and it deserves that epic scope, like you're saying.
And I mean, I would think it's easier to make money as a Star Wars movie though than show. Like you pay to watch it. I mean, you paid for Disney Plus, but like, how does that directly support Lucasfilm? I don't know. Like,
Well,
I'm sure they get a cut, but like,
yeah, it's with like the subscriber base. So like Mando season 1 was their kickoff for all of Disney Plus, and that got them a ton of subscribers right off the bat. And that's if people keep subscribing over time, that's money they get every month versus just one large sum.
I see that they're trying to get us, but
yeah, the other thing though is with Mando, you had actually a lot of merchandise sales, which they had with like nothing else. Like the sequels didn't generate like nothing for merchandise sales compared to Mando and Grogu. So I'm
looking at my calendar right now, it's Mandalorian and Grogu.
See, yeah, that's another way that they financially were successful, and part of the reason I think they're going with it, because if they can be that successful with a Disney Plus show for Star Wars, and then they bring it to the big screen, they could, and they do it well. It could definitely be amazing.
For sure.
I kind of hope, though. Sorry, I kind of hope that Ahsoka season 2 is terrible, because I want to see you go full Sith with me on Ahsoka season 2. That is the most cynical thing I could say, and I'm definitely like an evil Darth Sidious right now. But I would be absolutely hilarious to hear you just like rant and rave about it with me for like.
Dude, I think hope is lost because
it would be.
I have faith in Filoni. I have faith in Jon Favreau, but if there's no Filoni, there's no creative, like, specifically, like, you need a Star Wars encyclopedia that's working over there. If that is not working, I'm out. If they don't know what they're talking about Star Wars wise, but Ellie said she's heading out. Thanks for hanging out, but she said,
Yeah, thank you.
is it weird to say I'm gonna miss talking to y'all? Like I just miss y'all a lot when it isn't Wednesday. Well, appreciate that. I'm sure Dustin and Stay on Target crew also appreciate that. Always see you in the chat, making some good comments and stuff.
Well, the nice thing is you got Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah,
definitely. Just come to Bismo's show. He's always talking Star Wars, and he's got more videos popping, dude. So you can always comment. People are always commenting on his videos.
Yeah, you guys were kind of pumping out a lot of videos over the weekend or this week as well, though.
Yeah, we were really trying to push, hit 2024 strong as we could, and we covered a lot in our live stream. So we were like, let's just kind of put them out segments and have some fun with it. We're planning on putting out some more videos. Just trying our best to get as much out as we can with our schedules. So it's fun to do.
Heck
It's time consuming.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing you guys got a crew over there though, because a lot of your guys' show, a lot of good moments you can take away from that. There's definitely been good. There's funny enough that remember when we talked about Nacho Libre?
Yes.
Like I made that into a short, and it's actually like still getting views. Like it's like my most watched video so far this year or something.
Seriously?
Like, well, it's not going like crazy, but it's like getting consistent amount of views. I'm like, that's awesome. So yeah, it's just
Nacho. That's because Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre is amazing and hilarious.
Oh, it's funny.
That was such a funny moment, dude. I love that. We're gonna get a lot more of that. I feel like even when we get to like that anime thing, it's gonna be
it's
gonna be good.
Fun. It seems like you already have some good ones, but I'll definitely have to send you a shortened list of some good ones, but to get into too, because I'd love to talk more. Another reminder to drop a like if you can. It takes half a second.
Do it.
I see in the chat. Oh, Miss Manrique, what's up? I think in Ahsoka season 2, they're free to do a fresh story without any constraints. I agree with that, but what was constraining them in season 1? I guess they didn't have Ezra, so that was a constraint, or Thrawn for half of the time. So it shouldn't be any problem now. I hear you.
And maybe they could focus more on Ahsoka and Sabine and the new galaxy. Like if they didn't touch on what's going on, but I feel like there's going to have to be some boat back and forth because they're going to be trying to get back.
Yeah.
But sorry, go ahead.
I just took a peek at the Q&A questions, and the fact checker put a heater at the end.
No, fact checker.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Who's she doing wrong?
It's both of us here, but it's kind of it's interesting.
No.
But we're gonna be heading to the Q&A section, so we'll go through each of those in just a bit here. So if you want a for sure question that maybe we missed it in the chat or something like that we didn't cover, put it in the Q&A section, and we'll go over it all of them at the end. So make sure to put that in there, guys. But before we get to that, the other thing I want to talk about, I know somebody else had brought it up in the chat, I forget, but we haven't even talked about the shows that are coming out this year, because we've just been talking about what's next year. The Mandalorian movie is coming out in 2025. That's how, like, what even is this year? They don't even announce anything at all for this year. Is there Star Wars content anymore? I thought there were shows.
Oh man, right. Oh man, yeah. I mean, they got like they got some stuff dropping this year. Did you want to run through it, or what you thinking?
Well, I mean, so it's The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, Tales of the Jedi, and what am I missing?
Bad Batch season 3.
Bad Batch season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a mixed bag of like some like this is pretty good, but like there's nothing that like really like like Tales of the Jedi gets me excited, but it's not like it's probably like an hour worth of content, it's not like something that like gets me like super pumped. I'm very excited to see. I'll definitely watch it. I mean, I'll probably watch everything, but like, what are you most excited for?
Yeah, I think quality wise, I feel like Tales of the Jedi is going to be probably one of the best, but you're right. They don't drop it like week per week. They dropped them all at the same time, and it was like blink and you missed it type thing. Yeah. But maybe with the hype of season 1, it might pop off a little bit more. But when I was thinking about things a lot, I feel like Skeleton Crew could be a sleeper hit. I'm hoping that it surprises us and that it gives us something new and fresh and fun again, like fun in Star Wars, something exciting.
Yeah.
Jude Law is one of the main characters, and it's kind of okay. Did you ever see the Goonies movie?
I'm bad with names, but that does sound familiar. Gotta
It's
do
an
a quick
80s
search.
movie. It's an old school 80s movie about kind of an adventure movie with kids, like on a pirate treasure hunt.
Oh, I've seen it, but I'm like, I have
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
this
I
one,
know.
but I'm not super familiar. You know?
No. It's an older movie, you know, but I really like this movie. Dan went on like a rant for a while about how he did not like it, but I had fun with the movie, and I feel like if they pull off that like even 80s nostalgia in Star Wars in space, and they keep it fun and lighthearted, but with a good adventure and a good cohesive story, I really think that one could pop off.
Like Stranger Things.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, if they did it in that, and maybe not as creepy, but
Yeah, maybe not as like scary because I don't think they can do that. But
they're like going straight Death Troopers,
like nostalgia, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Other than that, like,
yeah,
terrifying.
Oh my gosh,
that'd be absolutely terrifying. Abeloth shows up.
Yeah,
that's the introduction to Abeloth, is in a Goonies style. Kids are just like, somebody's just getting like ripped apart. Oh, sorry, that's a little dark, but yeah, I wouldn't. The other thing, though, I think a lot of people are excited for, at least what we've seen, is Bad Batch Season 3, which really surprised me. A lot of people are excited about that one.
I actually, like, thinking about it, I think that's my sleeper. Like, if I had to pick a sleeper, just because of some of the things they did good, but also some of the things they really set up. And it's the finale, it's the last one. They're gonna have to kind of go big on this one if they want to continue doing just animation in general. If they don't do good here, that animation crew, like, they already closed like that one in Singapore last year at some point.
Oh, right.
But like Mount Tantus and some of these other bigger storylines, there really could be something special. And traditionally, animated Star Wars has been peak. You know, Clone Wars, Rebels. Basically is Clone Wars to some extent, but can it be better than it has been?
Yeah, that's the thing with I have like a love-hate relationship with Bad Batch, and I always say you have some really high highs that like are amazing episodes, and you're just like, what is happening right now? I was not expecting this to be this good.
Yeah.
And then you get some real low lows. You're like, I was not expecting it to be this bad. You're just like, what is happening? It's a roller coaster ride. But if they deliver on a lot of those high highs in that, and they make the final season like really good, plus it's also familiar to us, like you're saying, with the animation, and there's so much you can do in animation. That's what I like about animation, and it works so well with Star Wars. I agree. I think it could be a huge hit.
Yeah, something I will say, even though Bad Batch had slower weeks, or maybe not as good weeks, or some of the Omega stuff was a bit annoying, I always felt like I was watching Star Wars, though. Just like, I at least felt like I was in the Star Wars universe watching it, and I do appreciate that because it is kind of my like happy place, escape place. Whereas like if you can at least convince me that I'm watching Star Wars, you've won a certain side of me over to some extent. But yeah, like some of that other stuff. Let's improve it. The stay on target librarian is in here. What's up?
What's up, librarian?
Open Skeleton Crew surprises us too. Yeah, I mean, realistically, I hope all of the shows are really good. But what are my expectations? I expect, like, out of 4, how many of these are gonna be? Let's go with like how many of these are gonna be like great? How many of these are going to be mid, and how many of them are going to be bad? Because I'm thinking like maybe one of them is great/good. One of them, 1 to 2 is mid, and one of them is going to be bad. That's just my initial thought. Maybe one of them's great, expecting some mid and some bad. What do you think?
Are you going to name which ones you're thinking, or no? Do you want to keep people guessing?
No, I'll name them. So I think I'm gonna go with. I think Bad Batch has. I'm gonna place my bet on Bad Batch Season 3 is gonna be the good one. I think that there's a chance that they've got potential there. But now it's toss up. Wait, no, Tales of the Jedi. How could it not be good? Now that I'm thinking about it, it's hard to quantify that.
Right. I know, right? That's the challenging thing.
Yeah, it's tough to quantify that. Yeah, no, I would first. Okay. I think Tales of the Jedi is going to be good, and then the sleeper pick is going to be Bad Batch. And between Acolyte, I think the Acolyte is going to be mid for me. I'm going to say mid. I don't know. I feel like Skeleton Crew is going to be bad for me. That's just my take. What are you thinking?
Whoa.
Yeah. That's just my gut instinct. I don't know. How about you?
It's gonna be an Andor thing all over again. I'm gonna love it. You're gonna hate it. Oh man.
It's just I don't know. I hope they're all good, but
that's your gut feeling.
Yeah,
that's your gut feeling. You're just going with your gut. I like it. For me, I would have to say I think Acolyte's gonna be bad. There's gonna probably be moments that are decent in it, but overall, I think the story and execution is gonna be terrible. A train wreck. I think it's gonna be a beautiful train wreck.
Yeah.
And for me, at least hearing a lot of the behind the scenes stuff and a lot.
I hear that stuff.
Yeah, it just does. I don't know. And it's a High Republic. It doesn't get me as excited. But then I know Skeleton Crew. I want it to be if I'm putting like actual like bets on things, but I like the director, the John Watts who did the Spider-Man stuff. He did such a good job with that. And if they actually give him enough creative control, and he pitched it to Favreau, so this is like coming from John Watts Favreau. It just depends on how much studio interference gets in there and how much they're required to have in the show, character wise and whatever. All right, I'll stick with it. I think Skeleton Crew is going to be mid to good. I'm gonna go there. Acolyte's bad. Skeleton Crew's mid to good. I'm gonna go Tales of the Jedi. I think it's gonna be good. I think that's gonna be great.
Okay.
And then as long as they stick with the same format they did with the first season, and then Bad Batch, I think it's gonna be mid because I feel like we're gonna get both.
Yeah.
But I think it has a higher chance in this last season of being really good.
Yeah.
I am more optimistic.
Yeah. I guess if I had to put a range, so like more rangeify, I think Bad Batch is at least a lock for mid, but has the potential to be really good.
Yeah. They have to deliver.
I put
the final season.
So the thing with the Acolyte though is I think it has the highest potential. It could be the best show ever. It also could be the very worst possible show. I think it has the most range, just because.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
We're in a new era that's the closest thing to like the old Republic to some extent. There's a lot you could work with, but the things I've seen, I'm not like I don't expect it to be good. So I think why I think I put it on mid is they've got so many things to work with. They'll flub it up that it will just end up being mid just because there's a lot of lightsaber fights and stuff, but like it's still bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Because the action might be absolutely amazing. You know, we might get some awesome action, some good fights, some good like full on like Jedi Sith stuff that we want to see, that we've been craving. But I feel like the story's gonna be a train wreck.
Yeah, for sure.
but I don't know. It just depends.
Yeah, I think some people.
I agree with you though.
Yeah. Really? No.
That has when I agree, I mean like the biggest swing.
Yeah.
Like they're taking a real big swing with this one.
Yeah,
they could either knock it out of the park or they could kill everyone.
Yeah. So some in the chat are putting their like rankings or like level of excitement. So Icy is saying, in terms of most to least excited, he would rank Skeleton Crew at 1, Season 3 of Bad Batch at 2, Tales at 3, and The Acolyte at 4. Okay, I think that's similar, except for Tales is at 3 is a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm pretty close to that. Although I'd probably switch. You know, if I was actually like betting on good quality, I'd probably put Tales first, then Skeleton Crew, then Bad Batch, then Acolyte.
Yeah.
But as far as like I think a sleeper that might actually blow us away might be Skeleton Crew. Yeah,
KG is curious about Skeleton Crew, and also Acolyte could be cool, but I don't know. Not without.
We just haven't got. The other thing though is like we just haven't got anything like much on any of these things coming out. You know. Like they haven't announced any release dates. They haven't like started rolling out some promotional material, no teaser trailers, no anything. And we're in the year that they're all coming out.
Yeah. So I was just
Like,
looking
no,
at
you're
chat,
good.
trying to catch up a little bit.
You're
Somebody had
totally
mentioned
good.
some other great communities, and I remember somebody saying Star Wars Santa. That is a great community. Well, he's a great guy. I haven't got a chance to meet him, but literally Star Wars Santa, like he looks
Really,
like
there's
Santa
this.
Claus.
I'm unfamiliar with him.
Yeah.
I will have to become familiar with Star Wars Santa because that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
It sounds pretty close to Santava too. So
Yeah, so they have a great song streaming now, all platforms
shameless
and
plug.
on. But down below. Um,
More music to come too. More music to come.
Welcome back, librarian. Stay on target. Okay. I'm gonna say the fact checker is switch the middle two with Icy. So she's saying, Skeleton Crew,
That's similar. Yeah.
Tails. Yeah, that's so. Okay, you guys are on the same wavelength. I see.
Nice.
I think that's there's no wrong. The thing is, there's no wrong ratings.
Yeah.
We're just taking fun. Like
the crazy thing is we have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We could all be wrong and or all be right.
And
I said and or. Slipped it in there.
Where's my lightsaber? What if? Okay, what would you do right now if I just went like this and just like force pulled it?
I would freak out. I would probably poop my pants in excitement because I know an actual Jedi. I would. It would be absolutely amazing.
See, this is the moments we live for. Just two bros nerding out about Star Wars. Like,
who hasn't tried that like all of your life after seeing Star Wars? Like this is the time. This is the time I pull the Cheetos bag off the counter.
I have probably tried it 1,000 times. Like, it's like, okay, maybe not 1,000, but like, definitely tried it
10,
a lot.
000.
You know? Yeah. 200,000 units with 1 million more on the way.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I'm still excited for 2024. It's just like they're not really talking about it, so I hope everything we listed actually comes out at the very least.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Because we don't even know if they're all coming out or not. We have no idea. I think it's supposed to. Yeah.
Now what's the over under? I'm gonna put the 2.5 shows. Are you taking the over or the under? 2.5. You know,
shows.
Yeah, 2.5.
I think we'll at least get 2 shows.
So are you the under or the over? 2.5. So like the over would be 3, the under would be 2.
Ooh.
I'm gonna put in the bet in at over under of 2.5.
So yeah, I'll go. Oh man, they can't keep pushing some of these back. I think we'll. I don't even know, man. It's hard to say. There's so much that could go wrong. I feel like because Skeleton Crew, I think they're done filming, and I think they're done filming Acolyte.
Are they?
I don't really know, actually.
Dude, I've heard like. I hope they're done, and I think they're done. But like, I even heard like
they might be doing reshoots though.
I thought at one point I heard somebody say they're writing it off as a tax loss. I'm like, well,
I did see that with Acolyte,
or I think it was the Skeleton Crew.
Oh, was it? Yeah, it was both. I think I heard both.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. 2.5 on the show is over or under.
Oh man,
will we get more or less than 2.5 shows? Being 2 shows would be the under, or 3 or more is the over. In chat, what's your guys' number?
Yeah,
2 or 3?
What are you going with? I want to know.
With that caveat of it being 2024. Okay.
Oh man.
No. I'd like to go with over. I'd hope.
Yeah.
I would hope.
I'm going over too.
I'm with you. Hope. What are we even doing if like more than 2 of those don't come out? Like if they don't at least 3 out of 4, like I don't even. Yeah. No, it's exciting. It's exciting, but it's also like it's not. I mean, I guess Skeleton Crew kind of is the Mandalorian, but how will that tie into the larger story at large? They have a big movie now coming out with the Mandalorian and Grogu, and just the Mandalorian in general with the Ahsoka. I'm assuming that ties in. But how does Skeleton Crew play parts, or is it just happening at the same time in its own thing?
I think it's mostly its own thing happening at the same time. I think you might get like a cameo in there, and I think that cameo
Pirate?
from what, yeah, it might be a pirate. From what the rumors were, right, about that. If they show Hondo though, dude,
Yeah,
like,
that wow.
yes, please, times,
That's
yeah,
I've been
and
hoping
if
for Hondo for like all
live
right,
action
Mando
Hondo.
season 3. All right, Ahsoka. Oh no.
Yeah, I know. It's like, dude, you could bring in the best character of them all, especially. Well, and Ahsoka would have worked perfectly too, because like he was already in Rebels.
Maybe they could do that for the next one. I don't know.
Well, the crazy thing about Ahsoka too is like they did live action Clone Wars, which is where he came in, Hondo, and then they also were playing with all the Rebels characters for the most part. So
yeah,
they should have brought him in there. What a missed opportunity. Give me Hondo. Give me Hondo.
All right,
that's my chant.
Now, what's the over under on the year that Hondo makes it into live action? Okay, I'm going to put it at 2026. Are we under or over? You know, before or after 2026?
Just because I'm so hopeful, I'm over. They're definitely giving us Hondo this year.
Yeah, Skeleton Crew. That would be awesome. That would make it almost an automatic lock for good.
Yes. If they've not finished filming this and somebody from Disney's watching this, lock in live action Hondo right now, and you've won everybody over.
Yeah,
that would make it the best. And do it right, though. I mean, obviously, don't make him horrible. But do it
another
right.
thing, Lucasfilm, if you are listening to this, we're making legitimate bets on if you're gonna get the amount of shows you like release. So if that just gives you an indicator of how people feel where you're at, just a little indicator, might have to figure some stuff out.
They got some work to do to win us over again.
Seeing some Hondo love, one Hondo in the chat. People saying before. Yeah, I want before too, for sure. I guess, is there anything else we want to talk before we go into the Q&A? I think it's Q&A time. That's it. Okay.
That makes. Actually, I did want to mention. What about the video game? Are you excited? Because you're a gamer, dude. Are you excited for Outlaws?
Oh yeah, I'm excited. They claim it's open world. I'm sure that will be not really open world. It'll be like kind of open world.
Right.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll stream it on the channel. Like I'm sure when that comes. Yeah, I'm sure when that comes out. Yeah, I'll definitely stream it like I did Survivor. That'll be fun. I like doing that. I'm excited for it, but I don't even know if that's coming out this year anymore either. No.
They did push it back, didn't they?
Yeah. It's delayed somewhat. Yeah. Yeah. And if they don't make it for the Christmas sale, well, it's going to be Christmas of next year now.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Man, they might be like saving certain things this year for next year because they don't have a lot planned probably for 2025.
Oh, no. They got the Mando and Ahsoka and then Andor. Those should be just.
Well, I thought Mando would be 2026. The movie would be 2026 because it takes about 2 years to get a movie out. They're starting production on it this year.
Yeah, it did, but it's taking the slot though of that 2025.
Christmas for Rey, for that Rey one. Okay, yeah. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're off.
But at the same time, I don't really have much faith in them getting that out in time either, though.
I mean, that's a tight deadline for a movie.
I would say it's tight, but I don't think that's impossible, though. That is essentially 2 years. It's like 18 months, kind of like.
Yeah.
That's, I think, about the average time in between a Mandalorian season. I think if they've already got the scripts written.
That's a big if there. If they don't have those.
Didn't Favreau say, though, like before the writer's strike, he already had it written, though?
He said season 4.
Well, that's the movie now.
Well, yeah, that's true. if that's tied in the movie, then I guess, yeah, you're right. I don't know. Well, we got Andor season 2 coming out 2025, and I mean that's gonna blow us all away. So
yeah, I'm pumped.
What else do we really need?
Pumped for that to flop. Got him!
Dang it!
All right, Q&A time. I'm gonna end.
I'm
gonna end the questions thing. Obviously, you guys can still put stuff in chat, but these are the for sure stuff I wanted to make sure to reserve for those that either couldn't watch the stream fully or maybe we missed what you said. For us to take a look. So, questions. I see Stormy. If you had to guess, what do you think the Mando movie might be about? Well, it's Mando and Grogu, and they just set them back up to kind of be together. So I think it could take a similar to like a season one start, but then they stumble upon some kind of more Imperial stuff, kind of like my what if video, basically of season 4. What if Bo-Katan and Din Djarin get together, which is essentially just my rendition of what's going on there. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think the main plot? Do they tie it directly to Thrawn, or is it its own thing?
Yeah, I feel like in some ways they might have to tie it to the bigger picture. I mean, if this is going to be a movie, you need a big villain in this.
Yeah.
Although a challenging thing though is if you're doing the Heir to the Empire movie, you can't actually have Din and Grogu beat, Thrawn, because then they wouldn't be in the movie. So
Yeah.
unless they go into like the Grisk or something, like if they're in the outer rim of the galaxy and they find the big bad, and like Grogu and Din have to like rally the troops and fight off this invasion that's coming into the galaxy, that could be interesting. I don't know, but it's all up in the air. It could be a very self-contained story, just Din and Grogu on a mission. I don't know what that would be. It's really challenging. But if they do give us Bo and Din together as a couple in that movie or show, yes, you won pretty much everybody over. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Bo-Din for the win.
Bo-Din for the win. Yeah.
Yes, we got it.
Yeah, let's go.
Or they just kill them all off, and we slowly watch Din die for Grogu, and Pedro gets his I'm out type thing, but it's an epic ending.
Yeah.
And then Grogu puts on the helmet.
Yeah, I did think of something. So like in my what if, I had some like other Imperial officer, but what I would want them to do though is like, I guess, the first act, just do some classic Mando stuff or whatever. But I think the bigger picture of how they could tie it into Thrawn, but still do something different, is have a character like Eli Vanto or a Captain Pelion be the like kind of villain-esque of the film, to then kind of retreat or regroup to Thrawn towards the end or whatever. And once they beat him, and then Mando and them group up at the end with the Ahsoka crew, with Ezra and Hera and other people, and then we leave off, and then next movie or so season.
Right, like Mando and Grogu and them like win that battle, but it's a decisive battle, but it doesn't win the war, and we're gonna get the war in Heir to the Empire type of deal.
Yeah,
that could be really good. I like the idea of starting off with like a regular like bounty. That's how they just start off, kind of like what they did for season 2.5 in Boba. I love that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I want that. I think we're even just season 4 in general. I'd love that to start off, and I think that's what it should be. I think that's what they're hinting at. But yeah, thanks, Icy Stormy, for the question. Sonia, I struggle with the last name, but
Pantoja, I think is
Pantoja. Okay. Hey Bismo, what's your favorite scene from Star Wars: The Force Awakens? Mine is Rey and Kylo Ren meet for the first time on planet Takodana, and Kylo Ren carries Rey to his ship. Yeah, that's a great question. For The Force Awakens, for me, my favorite scene, I believe this has to be it, is when Han Solo talks to Rey and the others about the Force, and like that scene itself where he describes the Force. I just like that kind of mysticism, and I like Han Solo himself, I guess, on that. And that's probably my favorite, I guess, scene from that one. How about you, Dustin?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of the best scene from The Force Awakens. I've tried to put the sequels out of my mind for so long that I'm trying to remember.
I don't get much questions.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop there. Best scenes.
Come on, Dustin.
Like, okay, maybe when like Han and Chewie are like back to back in that fight scene, and they're like he's like got the bowcaster and he's like just blowing stuff up. Or some of the comedy whenever he's like, that's not how the Force works.
Yeah.
When you get like classic Harrison
Yeah.
Ford, like Han Solo,
Yeah.
that was probably peak for me for those movies, along with like the dogfights. I'm throwing out like 100 things because I can't really pick, but
yeah, no,
anyway.
The movie in general, just Harrison. I think for both of us, probably Han Solo salvaged that movie. I still think I put that movie at the bottom of my tier list because I can't give something that's a copy.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
But I did have fun with it. I do have fond memories, but like how I graded it, I can't grade it very high for those reasons. I do somewhat enjoy it, but I cannot enjoy it as a whole. I don't like the entire story as a whole though.
The best part of the entire movie was the music. John Williams'
music
was amazing.
Cinematography was good too.
Yeah, Han was both the best and the worst part of that movie when they killed him off. I cannot ever forgive that.
Yeah, and that was spoiled for me too. So I have really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was freaking spoiled.
I don't know. Yeah, sorry.
Good
question though.
I went to the dark side and spoiled that same person next time. And like,
you did?
Luke Skywalker dies like immediately.
Oh, you
right
got
after.
him back.
Yeah,
wow.
Right as soon as I saw it.
That's brutal.
I held that grudge for two years on that. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, that's rough.
That's probably one of my most dark side moments. But
that very dark side.
Hey, they got me with Han Solo. Revenge is not the way of a Jedi, and I don't know. You can look at my lightsaber back there and decide for yourself what I am.
It is red. It is red.
Thanks again, Sonia. That was a great question. Omega Zero. What do you expect Filoni will do with Shin Hati next? We didn't really talk about Shin streams. So that's good that you're asking that. I mean, obviously she's going to be on Peridia. I don't really know what her story is going to be. I still think long term, I think Shin Hati is going to get redeemed, especially in that scene with Ahsoka where she like holds out her arm or whatever, and then Shin runs away. I think eventually she'll get redeemed. But as far as what she's doing, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like she was going to basically become like the leader, like the warlords of that tribe from what they left off with that new like alien species. If she actually becomes a leader, I don't know. She might just join them, become kind of barbaric. I don't know. I feel like redeeming her at this point, I think it could be done. It definitely could be done, but I don't know if they're gonna go that way. I feel like they kind of need more of a villain, and I don't know if Balin's gonna end up being the villain for them because he's more ambiguous.
We didn't really talk about that either. What they obviously have that in the picture, like they're continuing that story that Balin left off. What are they gonna do? Have they recasted? What's going on? And are they just gonna use technology?
Yeah, which would you prefer, deepfake or recast?
I think there's a lot of good recast options.
I agree.
And I'll tell you this. If they were going to say no story or recast. If they can do it and it looks perfect, you can just CGI it. It looks perfect.
Yeah, if they do a really good job of that. Yeah. But depends if they got his likeness.
Yeah,
he was so good, man. It's such a tragedy, too. Like, he was so good in that role.
It's just a horrible thing. Yeah. Good question though.
Shin Hati.
Yeah. Hati indeed. Definitely like the character, but I was gonna say her lust for power ultimately led her to a tribe. That's like I don't know. She was like right hand of Thrawn, and then Balin's like, all of a sudden, your lust for power bad, and now ambitions have led her astray.
Yeah, he's like, peace.
Okay, this is the question from the fact checker.
Yep. Oh no, she can get spicy.
Would you say your disapproval of Andor at Bismo is equivalent to Dustin's disapproval of Ahsoka?
Oh man, that is spicy. It's a spicy meatball. Wow. I think it's more directed towards you, man.
I guess it is. No, I dislike Andor more than then Dustin dislikes Ahsoka.
Oh wow!
But I don't really know what that like. How do we quantify it? You know?
Right? Yeah.
How do we
Who
quantify our
ranted
hate?
longer and
Yeah.
more about? We're gonna have to go back to the Nielsen ratings on this and find the time we both spent talking about how bad something was.
I wasn't trying to be spicy, says the stage. Wow, it was spicy to me. No.
It was a great question.
It was good.
It was a good question. It's so funny too because you really like Ahsoka and
Mhm.
I did not like it, and then I really liked Andor and you really did not like it. It's so funny, but yet here
Yeah.
we are, friends, still talking about Star Wars,
Yeah.
even though we disagree on something.
Yeah,
Let it be a lesson.
Yeah, I mean, what would we have to talk about though? No, if we can. I mean, I think though to some extent though, both of us have moments of each show that we do like, or at least aspects of the show. Like I
Oh, yeah.
do like. Why do the names always come off me? But the Gollum actor, what's his name again?
Oh, Andy Serkis.
Yeah, Andy Serkis. I love Andy Serkis,
Yeah.
and the prison scene was really good. Um,
Yeah.
I didn't like the pacing of Andor though. Like I almost stopped watching after the first 3 episodes. I thought from my perspective, I wanted to be where they were at that mid-season finale at the end of those first 3 episodes. If this it's only a 2-season show, it's only just now a true rebel at the very end of the first season. Like I kind of wanted some. That was like one of my concerns with it. But I personally felt like slow in some areas, but there was like the latter half was good. Well, I gotta be careful with my words here now.
No, it's funny because it's kind of similar to Ahsoka in a lot of ways. That's why it's so comparable because like I agree with you in a lot of the pacing. I did not actually enjoy a lot of the pacing. So to your point, I know there's flaws with Andor, and we definitely pointed those out with the shows. I just think it ended up winning out for me with how they handled a lot of the characters and the story overall. But I don't like the ending wasn't like brilliant to me. Like it didn't blow me away, to be honest. I felt like they really could have used more there, and there was even some plots of the story that they didn't tie up, like with his sister, which is what started like the whole thing. And they went to
that
that
kind of stuff
planet
really confused me. I definitely was like,
it was a little disjointed for sure. I think, but the funny thing though is like in Ahsoka, it was like the middle 1, 2, and 3. Or 4, 5, 6 was like the best in Ahsoka, and it's like similar in Andor. It's like the best was actually that Narkina 5, the prison world with Andy Serkis, because that was just such a nice surprise seeing Andy, and he's just such a good actor that you're just drawn in to that character.
Yeah,
although I did like the heist that they finally got to in the beginning.
Yeah,
first.
like the mid-season finale one.
Yeah.
That episode was great. I just when you're dropping 3 episodes of a show, I'm just gonna immediately like I'm already a little bit like, oh, what? Why did they drop 3? Like, is there something you're hiding or just trying to push fast, quick? But I don't know.
The saving grace for me with Andor, though, like I would have panned it a lot more if these were already like pre-established characters that we know can do a lot better. The saving grace for me with Andor is the fact that it had good dialogue. At least it was interesting to listen to, even though it was slow. And I definitely give you that for sure. Like it was definitely slow, and they could have tightened it up.
Yeah.
But the dialogue was at least adult, like conversation. Like it made sense. Whereas like Ahsoka for me felt more disjointed in the dialogue, and these were already characters that I knew were amazing, and they gave me a less amazing version of that. But it's funny. Like we both have definitely different takes on this.
I hear you. Thinking on it though, I think my initial, and it still is though it tried to be like it has the good dialogue because it tried to be very HBO like, which to some extent
I can see that
is good. But for me, it took me out of the like what we were talking about earlier with Bad Batch. Like I feel like I'm always watching Star Wars to some extent. With Andor, I was for some reason the part of me some episodes and sometimes I was like getting taken out, and I'm like this doesn't feel super Star Warsy to me.
Yeah, there are definitely moments of that. It's more like a story, just a story that was just placed into Star Wars. It wasn't necessarily like Star Wars, but which it was kind of refreshing to me in some ways, especially after what we got with Obi-Wan. But and maybe that's influencing a lot of it. Some of the dialogue and like the monologues in that show for me are better than almost anything else Disney Plus put out. So, or Lucasfilm, Disney. Sorry.
Yeah, I see we get one more question, and the person says they gotta go, but Ellie asked, do you think Ezra and Sabine will become romantic, or will they just stay friends? All these stingers. I said you could ask anything, but no. I don't really know. I guess it's another one that it could go either way, but I do feel like Dave Filoni, from what he said, is he wants to show that they could be friends, or like how a relationship between a guy and a girl can be friends, and he literally friend zoned them. But at the same time, I don't know.
That was one of the most disappointing things of that entire show for me. At least Andor gave us a love story. As weird as it was, at least he gave us a love story. They friend zoned the love story they had already established in Ahsoka.
Well, it was like one way, and now it's the other way one way.
It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you.
Can you imagine how much more satisfying it would have been if we would have got?
No, it would have been super satisfying. I agree. It was.
He's gonna correct this mistake. I tell you now. I think that was a KK or somebody like that up above that had to make sure their story was told without that, because they didn't want whatever. They didn't want love to be the deciding factor or whatever. So that's why they couldn't play it that way. But I'm hoping now that he's the executive creative that he can actually finalize what he prepped for 4 seasons of Rebels into making them end up together, which it would be a perfect.
Yeah, maybe he's trolling us. Maybe he's trolling us, and
he better be.
Yeah, they actually just will be. And I am here for it. I do want it to happen, but I try to be like realistic of what I think's gonna happen, and I try to separate what I want, and I end up liking things that are mediocre or getting too excited. Case in point, Mandalorian like season 3.
Yeah.
But Andor, it definitely had its moments, but yeah, we definitely have different takes on it, but I can like see the perspective though, which is the fun thing.
Yeah, both of our
and
thought.
And with with Ahsoka too, and it's just like from an objective standpoint, like separating it from non-Star Wars, the acting was and cinematography was better in Andor than Ahsoka. But the acting itself in Andor was throwing me out of the loop. Of like, this is almost too serious. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no. Well, it's not to say I don't have a problem with it, like a huge problem with it. It's just it's a bunch of little things that add up that took me out of the element.
Yeah,
not many aliens. It's a little bit darker in tone, much more geared toward adults, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but Star Wars is supposed to be. I mean, from George Lucas, it was always made for that. I'm not saying I wouldn't want something really stellar that could be for adults. I'm just saying, at least maybe it was a new thing for me that I guess made me a little bit uncomfortable with the direction of where Star Wars was going at the time.
Yeah, it's a little jarring.
Yeah, but at the same time, I am excited for Andor season 2 because there were things I liked, and I'm just hoping to see just more. And now that Andor is actually a rebel, that's what I was kind of hoping for, like earlier on. Yeah, that's from my perspective. Like I'm more excited for that. So, and to some extent, it sounds like are you at least somewhat excited for Ahsoka season 2? Or
yeah, for sure. I think I with the big I'm what's the word I always use? I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. Yeah. Yes, there we go. Thank you. You read my mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I there's a chance that he could turn it around on us. And again, it depends on how you end this story. A lot tells about the story if you can end it well.
Yeah.
Like you got to give it, and that's what even through Ahsoka, even when we were reviewing it, I was like, you know what? I really didn't enjoy this, but I gotta save for the end of the season. If he delivers on this, then I will eat all my words.
Yep.
But it didn't for me. but he could deliver on this.
He could
if he's a
deliver
little
on
bit more
the series and the story at large, the whole thing. So
it's fun. It's funny because it's like with you, you're excited for Andor season 2 because if they improve and they make it more of what we want to see, take the best elements and expand that and actually lean into those, it could be a great season. And Ahsoka, if they expand on that and they get back, for me, what were Rebels with some more Rebels characters and make it like a little bit more like Rebels and take it have a little bit more cohesive story that really delivers, then I would be all for it for sure. So that's funny. We're like,
we're like flip-flop. But it's good though.
Dude, it could be absolutely hilarious. So Andor season 2 comes out and I hate it and you love it, and then like Ahsoka comes out and I love it and you hate it.
Yeah. Wait, nobody. Wait, maybe we should just do that, like for the viewers.
That'd be hilarious. Nobody needs to know.
At least from your like, it's like you want your show to do good, but I just hope both shows do good. I don't really want to. Yeah. I don't want to be in a spot where like one of them does super good and one of them does bad, and I just like rip on it. Like I probably will if let's say Ahsoka 2 was really good and Andor season 2 was bad. I probably would riff on it, like being honest.
You gotta be real.
Yeah, but I hope they're both good because I think we're both like cautiously optimistic with the future of both the shows, which is funny. And I think that's a good note to kind of like wrap up the show on and end it up. What do you think?
I could not have said it better myself. That was the perfect way to look at it. And I agree with you completely. I want to see every project of Star Wars come out and be great. And that we can all be excited for again.
Yeah, it's just the more stinkers they put out that aren't great makes us a little bit more cautiously optimistic, but also just more negative in general. Like,
Oh, and I like to call it constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Because you have to have some constructive criticism to get it back to a better place. If you don't have anybody telling you that maybe you should try something else because that sucks, you know what I mean? Then you might not ever get better, and you might just keep putting out not subpar material. So that's what the fans are for in a lot of ways, to get that feedback, to be like, oh, okay, I could see where they're coming from. At least take it seriously and internalize and think about it and be like, how could we improve if you come from that perspective? Anyway, so
yeah, no, for sure. That's I think we'll end it there. I don't know if we can really improve. Like I think we've done a good job here, kind of wrapping it up. Thanks. Those in the chat hanging out with us, really engaging chat tonight. I really appreciate you guys. It was a lot of fun. I think we're gonna do this Q&A thing in the future too, just to like so people in the beginning can put questions that they for sure want answered at the end. It's kind of a fun way to kind of tie it all together at the end. But yeah, thanks again, Kiri, KG, Icy, the fact checker, the librarian, Kiri, KG, and all those who stopped by. Really a lot of fun. Video coming out tomorrow, 12 p.m. Central Time. It's gonna be good. I'm trying my best.
Watch it, you must.
That was good. Do what must be done. And go check out Stay on Target. They'll be live again next Wednesday, right?
Yeah, sure. Wednesday we're doing 7. We moved the time a little bit, so a little bit earlier, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So,
all right. Just like don't ask me why I flopped an hour earlier as well. I'm still kind of experimenting. We're gonna stick with Thursday for now. I will also be live again next Thursday, next week, the day after their show. Same time, we've got another guest coming on as well. But it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you, Dustin. Make sure to go check him out, and I'll see you guys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.